Hello, Anaheim Ducks fans. Welcome to another episode of the Quack Report.
It's about that, hey?
It's pretty much it, yeah.
The Dostal show.
Yeah. Established 2020. 2022, damn it.
2022. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to go back to 2020, please.
No,
Thank
yeah,
you.
I said that, and then I got like a chill, and then realized I fucked up.
Oh man.
Yeah. What a game.
Yeah, it was good to start, I'll say.
Oh, for sure. As we talk about in the pre-recorded stuff that you'll hear later, and again, it's one of these confusing ones again. The Ducks seem to be good at starting games, and lately, just the first period, and then it just eventually it doesn't taper off. It falls off a cliff.
Yeah.
So, because the first period was fantastic. I thought. I was like, actually, the first two periods, I was like, holy shit, we might win this game.
Yeah, it was a game the entire time. And then we decided not to anymore. And we got really the undisciplined aspects is what hurt us in this game. Took way too many penalties. I've talked about this before. And I mean, it makes sense. You're going to take more penalties when you are more desperate and when you're behind.
You don't have the puck. Yeah.
Yeah. And when you don't have the puck. Right. So, 24 minutes in penalties tonight.
Oof. There was a couple misconducts at the end.
That doesn't include that because the Wild have 6 penalty minutes. And
you mean combined 24 minutes? I see.
I meant for the Ducks.
Oh,
I'm double because I thought Minnesota and Anaheim each got. Oh no, sorry. Okay, just Vetrano got the misconduct there. Okay, I thought Minnesota had one as well. Okay, so
I actually did too, but yeah.
Okay, so take that off even then. 14 minutes.
Yeah, that's not what you want. And I guess one was a 4-on-4. Like there was a full-on 2-minute 4-on-4.
Yes.
So yeah, and so yeah, that's how you get to the 6 power plays for Minnesota. But, yeah, that's
where they luckily only capitalized on one.
Fucking somehow, yeah. That's one to. That's definitely an outlier to pad the stat for the penalty kill, but like that's unbelievable actually.
Yeah, and like we were talking about, like the first and second were pretty even, and even honestly, even in the shots, the first maybe not as much, but it's still like fairly 9-4. The second period 14-12. Both periods in favor of Minnesota, and then the third again falls off a cliff, 19-6 for Minnesota.
Yeah.
So it was, just
and what was it? 4 of the penalties were in the third period, or like 4 of the power plays for Minnesota. Or 3 of them?
No, 2 of them.
Really? Only 2?
Yeah, because there was Kulikov tripping Kaprizov there, and then there was Vetrano. Vetrano slashing Hartman.
Right.
And then Minnesota had the late penalty for hooking.
Okay.
Where Vetrano also got a misconduct.
Gotcha.
So,
okay. Yeah, no, I honestly thought there was more. Like I felt like there was more penalties that we took in the third, but I guess not. Yeah. So, yeah. And to be fair, in falling off of a cliff for the third period, this is the second half of a back-to-back. So it's kind of expected that in the third period, you're probably going to be chasing the game a wee bit, but still, it's not what you like to see, I guess. So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay. The other thing that kind of threw me off, and I'm just seeing a tweet here from CJ Woodling that I think kind of honestly sums it up. He says, honestly, it's not the loss that bothers me. It's that Dallas Eakins blew an entire period on completely nonsensical lines with no practice ahead of time on a back-to-back. Yeah, what the hell were those lines in the first period?
Like the opening lines, you mean?
The opening lines and like what he because he shuffled it up in the first period as well.
Okay.
And they were still just like what the hell was that?
Yeah, I don't really understand that because like we're not running 11-7. Like we did 12-6 this game, so
But
you should just have like
yeah,
like a good rotation. And like yeah, we didn't really start like the freshest we've ever been, but it also wasn't bad either. It's not like, oh, holy fuck, we're down 3-0. Let's shuffle the lines. It was just like, no, Minnesota was just pressing and had a lot of zone time. And so that's kind of what you expect from Minnesota,
yeah,
right? So like
it,
you
but
don't
it
need to
was
shuffle the lines for that. Like it's weird.
we didn't even. I don't even think you really needed to shuffle the lines the way you did before the game started. If anybody missed it, the projected lineup from the Anaheim Ducks Twitter account was a top line of Henrique centering Terry and Comtois. The second was Strome centering Leeson and Zegras.
Yeah, that one's weird to
The
me.
third was McTavish centering Silverberg and Vetrano. And then the fourth was Carrick centering Megna and Kirkland. That fourth one is the only one overly that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Like Henrique and Terry together, sure. Zegras and Strome together, sure.
But
McTavish centering Silverberg and Vetrano. Honestly, that one I'm fine with, because Jones is out, right? But
right, but
I don't get why you wouldn't keep Leeson with McTavish and sure have Vetrano there and put Silverberg in the top six. Like, why does
yeah,
Silverberg have to be on the third line? He hasn't been in the top six all year.
exactly.
Has he
And
been
you've
great? No, but like, what? I just don't get it.
yeah, and you've had one of your mind you, they have their good and their bad games. We've established what the top line is. It's
Yeah,
Zegras, Henrique, and Terry.
yeah. Like, What? Why would you split that up? I don't understand. Like of all guys to put there, Comtois is a good choice, I guess. But like, I would have been fine with Zegras, Henrique, Terry, and then Strome, Comtois, Leeson would have even been better. Like because that top line's still together, right?
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just it's back to the thing where I I defended like earlier in the season where okay, let's try and spread out the wealth a little bit and not make it so that we're a one line team. But when the one line you put together is like one of the best in the NHL, who gives a fuck what the other 9 forwards are doing, anyways? Just
exactly.
like at this point in the season, it doesn't fucking matter. You're not
And
going to
I'm
win.
yeah, and I
So
mean the fact that we had to it was okay, yeah, we'll change it up. And then that clearly wasn't working for you. And then you go, okay, let's change it up again
change
rather
it up
than go back
differently.
to what we know works.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I do kind of agree with CJ there. It was a waste of a first period
Yeah. Like,
with just with lines that just have no practicality to them whatsoever. And if you're on a back to back, I doubt these guys even practice together
yeah, because
as
that's what the lines
as
were
lines.
last night.
Yeah, exactly. This makes no sense whatsoever. Like I forget who I saw tweet it, but it was basically just like that. Like that felt like something that was okay. How much can I intentionally fuck up and still not lose my job?
Yeah, right.
Right? Like this was just brutal from the start there. So
Yeah. And yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Like, it's not that you can't do it, but I don't think I've ever really seen, barring injuries, a coach shake up the lines on the second half of a back to back. And if
yeah,
they do, it's because the team laid a fucking egg in the game before. So you go back to something else that you've at least done before. This is brand new, right? Like
yeah,
the
it
fourth
makes no
line is
sense.
made up of guys that have played less than 10 games this season.
And my favorite part about it too was again, you'd think, okay, go back to what you think works. So Henrique and Terry, if we're talking about that top line, we know those two work together.
Mm-hmm.
And we know the third guy that's part of that equation is Zegras centering, right?
Yeah.
Rather than Henrique.
Mm-hmm.
What Dallas Eakins decides to go to is Henrique centering Terry and Justin Kirkland,
Yeah.
who we talk a little bit later, like on the pre-recorded part, but just for those who are here for the live section, This is Justin Kirkland's second NHL game. He played his first one last night,
Mm-hmm.
where he had 2 shots on net.
Yeah. So like,
it's nothing against Justin Kirkland. That's just not a top line guy.
yeah, like
The guy in his second game, like
throwing a guy to the fucking wolves. Like, oh hey, don't fuck up, by the way, because like, even though it's your second NHL game, but we're gonna put you up against Kirill Kaprizov and who's on that? Was it? It's like it's Zuccarello and who else is on that line? I don't remember.
Boldy on that one,
maybe. Yeah.
Either way,
either way, it's like, why the fuck are you doing that to the guy? Jesus.
So you try it once or twice, right? 30 seconds, 45 seconds max for a shift, right?
Yeah. Give him a shift after like a power play, so Kaprizov's not going to be on the ice.
So that's your minute and a half of time on ice as a line together.
Mm-hmm.
That line got thrown out for just over 3 minutes. Why?
That's a. What is that? 5, 6 shifts? Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, like it's.
Yeah, that's a few too many for me. I don't think they got scored on though. So like, at least there's
no. Luckily, but their expected goals against was 4 times as worse, or was 4 times worse than their on ice expected goals for in that 3 minutes. It's not like massive numbers on the expected against, only at like 0.128. But when you throw them out there for 3 minutes and it's a 0.04, like they're not like that. That's the equivalent of, when it's the equivalent of like if you're 17, like 16, 17. 18 even, right? And you're like, okay, like, see your parents, like me and my friends are going to do this, and they go, okay, take your little brother or your little cousin or something like that, and they're like a 2-year-old, and suddenly you can't go do adult things because you're handcuffed because of this
an adult because you're 16
right?
or 17, but yeah,
okay,
teenager.
Okay,
things.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, how about this? You're in Southern Alberta where we are, or actually no, you know what? You're in California. It's 21 to go to the bar. Mm-hmm. Right. And your parents say, hey, take your 16-year-old cousin. You can't go to the bar anymore.
Yeah.
And you had to shuffle this kid somewhere else. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Terry and Henrique were doing with Justin Kirkland.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
So, and like eventually it was okay. McTavish, Leeson, and Comtois got put back together for a total of 1:39, 5-on-5. Right. Like, eventually we find like second and third period, we got back to what we know in Zegras, Henrique, and Terry for 7 minutes and 34 seconds.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's in 2 periods. So, well,
yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think that'd be like 10, 11 minutes over 60 minutes, which is like a little low, but considering how many penalties we took, like it kind of makes sense that at 5-on-5 that would be a little bit less, but yeah.
Yeah, and this is reflected because we shuffle the lines around so much, which again, still, what the fuck? That projected fourth line. Again, Sam Carrick, who is more of a fighter, right? He's your body, basically. Megna and Kirkland played just under 5 minutes, 5-on-5. That's the second highest time on ice 5-on-5 trio in this game. It's like, the fuck is the point?
Yeah, it's just so weird, man.
Oh, just like I'm trying to figure out just some inkling of rationale behind the decisions in the first period, because again, like, we got back to normalcy in the second, that was fine, and then the third period became a shit show as it was a parade to the penalty box. But just that first period handcuffed us, right? Like it's a game of what ifs, right? What if the normal lines, or relatively normal lines, were together in the first period? What might have happened? Right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do we get an extra? Do we take the lead 1-0 into the second period, or 2-0 even?
Potentially, yeah.
Right? Like,
it would be a
who
different
knows?
game. Yeah, it could be a different game. You never know. Yeah, but I don't know. I think the only rationale that you can possibly come up with is Connor Bedard. that's about it.
I can't even think of like Connor Bedard as rationale. The only thing I can think of is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 too many wobbly pops before you go and coach an NHL game.
Yeah, maybe. But
like I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah, what else did we have here? Yeah, speaking of offense, I guess I specifically picked out in that what was that the start? Yeah, start of the third period there. There was a point that Marc-Andre Fleury was down on the ice, just desperation mode. The Wild in front of him were in desperation mode. Ducks took what, like 2-3 shots? Couldn't get a single thing. It's either a Wayne Gretzky shot on the ice, which guess what? There was a guy wearing goalie gear laying flat on the ice.
And there was also someone else selling out in front
to get in front of that. And yeah, just no one able to raise a puck and put it into an empty net, essentially. The Wild take it down to our end. Also gets a chunk of it, but it goes into the net. 2-1. Like, that was just deflating overall, I feel like, for the team.
Yeah.
So, and even for the people watching at home or in the building, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You just saw this spectacular effort by Minnesota, and then they go down the other way and just throw it on net, essentially.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Yeah, like I said, the undisciplined game cost us 6 penalties taken in this one. Yeah, it was just rough overall, I guess. Primarily in the third period. Like that's the thing with this game, right? Is one period alone can cost you. In terms of the on-ice play, one period cost us. In terms of coaching decisions, another period cost us. So really, it was only the second period that
was any good. Yeah.
Yeah, we were playing at close to the potential that this team has.
And it just gave us a false sense of hope.
Yep.
Really. So
exactly.
Sorry, just going back to the one, or like the first period line shuffle. The only thing I can think of for like wanting to start the lines this fucked up is I feel like I've dropped a lot of F-bombs to start this off, and I really apologize to everybody.
You got to catch up to me at some point.
Yeah, right. But like the only thing I can really come up with to make sense of why you would do that on the second half of a back-to-back is that the game against LA was not good at all. So like, if you're like, okay, we need to do something else, or we're just gonna, because if that's what happens against LA, not to take anything from LA, because they're second, third in the division, and have been like all year, like they're a good team. I know, I'm sorry, but if that's what LA does to the Ducks, what is Minnesota gonna do on the second half of the back-to-back? Like, you've got to do something to be like, okay, I at least tried to make it so this wasn't a blowout, and thankfully it was not. It probably should have been, but at least we settled for the exact same result in 4-1. So that's like the only kind of thing that I can maybe think of. And again, it doesn't make a ton of sense, but that's what I've come up with. So
yeah, but even okay with I was going to play devil's advocate on here. Okay, so yeah, you're not happy with how the game against LA went to shuffle it up. So why now? Why not 6-1 loss to San Jose? Why not 3-0 to Ottawa? Why not 7-0 to Toronto? Like, so many more games could have been okay, let's try something different over the last 2 weeks.
With that,
why
though,
now?
With that,
and
though,
why on a back-to-back where you have no practice time whatsoever?
Yeah, with that, it's not like for the other games, if we got we I don't know how to say that. We'll say we. Say not a shutout loss. Hey, nice. Which we will get to some of the more positives and like that in a little bit, but got to get all the aggression out first. I guess besides the Ottawa-Toronto one, that one was a back-to-back, and I don't remember what we did for Toronto in terms of shuffling the lines, if
I don't
that happened at all.
know if we really did a whole lot.
Yeah, but if I was Dallas Eakins, my stupid rationale for this would be, okay, yeah, we sucked in the game against Toronto. We sucked in the game. Actually, no, then we beat Montreal and Edmonton. But okay, here we go. Going back to San Jose. We sucked against San Jose, but it's okay. We have a day or two to practice that we can work on the things. So we'll keep the lines together, but we'll like work on improving in practice. Okay, we sucked against Toronto, but we'll work on improving these things in practice. Whereas when you're on the back-to-back, you can't just like improve on, say something that you saw that you think you could fix in practice. So you just shuffle the lines so that it just doesn't happen again, I guess. I don't know if that was a coherent thought or not, but again, I'm embodying Dallas Eakins here, so it's not supposed to be the most coherent thought you can come up with.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I don't know.
I'm just trying to figure something out here. Like, it doesn't make sense to me either, but
yeah, like your offense over the last 3 games, which again, 5-2 win over Montreal, 4-3 win over Edmonton, and a 4-1 loss to the Kings. Still, you scored 10 goals over those 3 games. That's more than you had scored in the previous 5 before the Montreal game, where really you only scored in 3 of them. And you scored 6 goals.
Yeah. So really, you should just chalk that Kings loss up to, you know what, we weren't ready to play. They were, and they kicked our ass. And we were in their barn. And, you know, it's difficult to play there because of the rivalry, right? So then you should just run the same lines.
Road trip.
Yeah. So like you should just run the same lines for this one. Be like, you know what, that one was an egg. That we'll just take the out. I mean, there's been lots of eggs, big fat, juicy stinkers this year already. But that one's one of the ones where you should just be like, you know what, we're going to write it off and we're going to run the same lineup again against Minnesota because this is the lineup that worked against Edmonton and Montreal where we got a win. Save for Max Jones because he's injured. But
yeah. Okay, now I'm going to say this I'm going to say this in hopes that this statement becomes outdated in a day or 2 even, which might be brutal because of the timing. At this point, no, Dallas Eakins is not going to get fired.
Yeah. Like
we have him for the season. We have him for the season.
Yeah. You fire Dallas Eakins. What, this team's going to go 50-0? Like,
no, I'm not even thinking that we just start winning more. I just start thinking that there's not somebody behind the bench who is making ludicrous decisions for the team. If you're not going to fire the guy, just take away his responsibilities. Okay, seriously, just pay the guy like basically the same way you would if you fired him, right? Like just give him his money. Dallas, we just need you to come up at this point. You can stay home the entire for the next 9 games. Just come to the rink, stand behind the bench,
point a couple times, draw a little stick figure on your notepad. Yeah, hey!
Exactly.
Every once in a while at the ref, that's all you got to do.
That's all you have to do. That's all I want him to do at this point. Somebody else needs to make decisions for this team.
Trevor Zegras,
during
Adam Henrique, Cam Fowler.
Sure.
Fuck, I'd even trust. I'm gonna blow John Klingberg. Whoa, I'm gonna rip John Klingberg apart.
You're gonna blow John Klingberg. All right.
I'm gonna rip John Klingberg apart later in the episode because we recorded it in the past and you'll hear it in the future. But I would trust him to make the coaching decisions more than I would Dallas Eakins at this point.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah. I don't know either, but I do have a couple positives that I want to kind of leave this discussion off on before we move on. But before we do that, we are going to take a short break with our friends over at DraftKings. Be sure to use promo code THPN to bet against the Anaheim Ducks, because when they do that, or at least when Nate does that, they win. So at least somebody wins, even if it's not Nate.
I'm the one who wants to win in that situation.
Yeah, I don't know. There can only be one. It's either Anaheim wins or Nate wins, and it can't be both, even if you bet on Anaheim. So, but yeah, promo code THPN, DraftKings Sportsbook. We'll see you guys in just a minute here. Hockey fans, light the lamp this winter with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. New customers can bet just $5 pre-game money line on any NHL team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. If that wasn't enough excitement, you can turn small bets into bigger payouts with same-game parlays. Combine multiple bets like which team will win, how many goals will be scored, and more for your shot at an even bigger payout. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code THPN, bet $5 on any NHL team to win their game, and get $150 in free bets if they do. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code THPN. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
Okay, you know what? Not the coming game against Calgary, the game against Vegas, though. If Anaheim gets a lead, I'm just betting on Vegas right away.
Okay.
Just to, just give myself some money. I think the worst part about this loss tonight, we lost in front of Getsy.
Oh. Is he going to come out of retirement at least? That would be nice.
Throw him behind the bench.
I think you're onto something. Yeah, wasn't his kid the arena host for the evening, or something? Oh no, he was hosting something. What was it?
His kid was the junior reporter in that video that was going around. Which
yes,
that video was hilarious. Holy shit! I said Zegers finally found somebody that's at his level, and it happens to be Getzlaf's kid.
Yeah.
You're so boring to watch, and then Seekers comes into frame.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Yeah, that's good. Some positives for this game, because it wasn't all bad. Number one, we held Kirill Kaprizov off the score sheet.
All right. Yeah, I didn't realize that, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Matt Boldy got 3 points, and Eriksson Ek actually got a goal with his brother in the building. Not against his brother, unfortunately. I was really kind of hoping we would put Eriksson Ek in, especially because second half of a back-to-back, it's against your brother. Wouldn't it be sick if your brother scored a hat trick against you, or you shut out your brother? Like, one of those two would happen.
Yeah.
You can't,
I did say that I thought we were going to see Dostal both nights.
You did, yeah. And I thought it would be Eriksson Ek. But Mason McTavish's breakaway goal, thing of beauty, picking off the pass from, I think it was from Kaprizov, honestly.
Either way, it was a beautiful goal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just his ability to read the play and break that up. And as soon as he got the breakaway, I was like, this has to go in. I know it's against Marc-Andre Fleury, but I can just feel like Mason McTavish just feeling it tonight. And then, he just picked 5-hole, and that was a gorgeous, gorgeous goal. I loved it.
Yeah, he played below his average tonight, 12:47, and
really?
minute 1 on the power play.
Yeah, we only got one.
I want to see
2 power play opportunities. Yeah, we were shorthanded a lot, and he doesn't play penalty kill, so I'm not surprised if basically everybody's going to be lower for the time on ice, unless they're a regular penalty killer. But that's just me. So
shift chart. This is what I want. Max McTavish.
Are you looking on Hockey Reference? Or are you
no, I was looking at Stat Trick, but yeah, Hockey Reference might be better.
Yeah,
I was trying to find shifts per period.
Oh, yeah, I don't know about that, but in terms of I've got it up here, so
Okay.
Before tonight's, oh no, sorry, this is, yeah. So before tonight's game, so against LA, he had 20 shifts, 24 against Edmonton, 23 against Montreal, 24 against Toronto, and 23 against Ottawa, and then basically anything in between those numbers for the foreseeable past for a good chunk of time. For tonight, they have not updated his personal page, but
I think Money Puck might have it here.
okay.
17.
Yeah, that's definitely lower. That is a smaller number for sure.
And he's the guy that got the one goal.
Yeah. But again, doesn't play penalty kill, and we were on the penalty kill for almost 12 minutes. So
yeah, no, that's true. I don't know. It's just, yeah, it's curious.
Oh,
I guess
curious is a word. That's a
yeah. It's a word.
Yeah. The other thing that I think is a major positive for this game is Lukáš Dostál, especially on the second half of a back-to-back where he played in both games, stopping 41 of 44 shots, I think was the final count.
38 of 41.
38 of 41. Oh, they've got 40. Oh, I guess one's an empty net, though. So yeah, 38 of 41. Yeah.
For a 927 after playing the second half of a back-to-back that you also played in.
Yeah. That's all right.
I very much like that. So, is goal save above expected a negative 0.5, but that's
still kind of right around where you should be, because I think it was a 0.1
when you're getting shelled on a back-to-back.
Yeah, and he faced 41 shots the night before too, so 82 shots in 2 nights, and you stop. I forget if the Kings got an empty net. I don't know, they didn't. So, and you stop -7 of those 75 of 82. A 915 save percentage.
Yeah,
that's okay. that is just fine by me. So
I like that.
Yeah, even a 3.5 goals against average is not bad in this economy. So
yeah,
and when you play on the Ducks, so
exactly.
Yeah, man. Not mad about that. Yeah. I actually paid more attention to how they say his name on the broadcast, and it was Guy Bear, who I'm assuming has talked to him quite a bit. It's Lukáš, like Lukáš, like so the little U above the S, I guess, makes it more of a sh sound, because
excuse me.
Like everyone else says Lucas, but I'm assuming if someone comes out and confidently says Lukáš, they don't just like have a lisp.
Yeah,
the Bear does not. So, so that's his first name, and then it's Dostál, like Lukáš Dostál.
Okay, Dostál.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, that's how I remember Guy Bear saying it. So.
All right, cool.
So now we know. Yeah,
Dostál it is.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really have anything else to say about this game that hasn't already been said. So.
Yeah, I got nothing else either here for you.
Yeah. I was fully ready to blast John Klingberg. That's what I was trying to say earlier, blast, but I said blow instead. There we go. I was like, why did I say blow? But yeah, I was fully ready to blast John Klingberg like the whole game. Like he was under the microscope for me, and I mean, I don't think he was great, but there was nothing that was like glaringly obvious like I'd get into against the Kings. So
expected goals against of a 0.9.
What was the actual?
His actual was
he was
as expected on ice. Whoops.
He was a -1, so it depends, I guess, if he was on the ice for the McTavish goal. But
yeah,
that's my problem with plus minus is like, yeah, you can see someone's a -1, but like, were they on the ice for just 1 goal against, or was it 2, but they were on the ice for a goal for? Like, It's weird.
Excuse me. Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, yeah, and I don't know, whatever. You live to see another day, John. I'll not come and blow you today.
Okay, I'm not even thinking about it. Like at first, I was, but I'm not. Like right now, I'm not even thinking about it in a dirty way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking of this moment from you watched Gotham, right?
Oh, yeah, not all of it, but like I
Okay.
watched a good chunk of it kind of as it was coming out.
There was one, I don't even remember what the context. Oh, it was the one guy. I think he's dressed up as a knight in it. I don't remember
Batman?
offhand.
Is it Batman?
No, it's not Batman.
The Arkham Knight?
No. No, like he's dressed up like it's like a medieval knight kind of thing. And I forget who it was. I feel like it was Alfred. Pulls out a bazooka and like fires it like directly at this guy.
Jesus.
and hits him and kills him like the same Gordon, I think is what it is. And like just that's where my mind went to. You're gonna blow him. All right, you got the bazooka out.
I mean, that would be preferable to the other one that we were thinking of. So
yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, I guess that's about it for this part of the podcast. If you're listening to the podcast version of this, then we'll hop over and you will then now hear about the LA Kings from past us. So have fun with that. All right, let's talk about the LA Kings game. And again, I feel like I say this every time, like, even though we probably don't really want to, we're going to talk about it. I guess the only time we haven't, that I haven't said that is Montreal and Edmonton, because those were 2 wins. It's like, yeah, we want to talk about these games.
Yeah, and this was the return from the high.
Yeah.
Of like, oh my God, we're winning games. We're getting really lucky, I guess, in the favor or in the Edmonton game, right? But it's like, this is just you're coming off the high, and it's back to reality.
Yeah, and just so that people know, have a little bit of context here, we had predicted 5-0 and 6-0 losses to Toronto, 3-0 and 4-0 losses to Montreal, 5-0 and 6-0 losses to Edmonton. And then after they had beat Montreal and Edmonton, we said, okay, maybe this team's figured it out a little bit. You had said 3-2 for Anaheim, and I had said 5-4 for LA. So we were like, you know what? Close game, could go either way, sort of thing. And then this happened. 4-1, LA. And you know what? Credit where credit's due. First period, back and forth action, zeros on the board. By the time the teams went into the dressing room for the intermission, looked pretty solid.
The first goal wasn't scored until the 13-minute mark of the second period there, right? So, yeah, it was a pretty even back and forth battle, I would say, for the most part. I mean, there was definitely a little bit more favor I would find for LA there, but yeah, it was like overall it was fairly even until that point. So, and even honestly, even after that point, it was the 2-1 LA game that things just kind of took off for LA.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah, exactly.
So
like
I would
right at
argue
the end of the second period was kind of when the momentum swung. So
yeah, so I would argue for almost 40 minutes, it was a fairly even game, but there's another thing there, right? Of just not playing a full 60 that we've been stressing for. This is season 4 now, so 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Right. This team, no matter which combination, it hasn't been able to, unfortunately, really. So
yeah. And I've even kind of noticed that throughout this season, especially, is that like at least we're being like consistent in which parts of the game we're playing, where it's like we always seem to start strong, and it's like the first period you're like, you know what, Ducks are in this game, maybe they'll win this one, and then like second period it's just like fuck it, just everything dies, at some point in the second period.
I wouldn't even say that. I'd say it's the first 5 minutes, because then at the 5-minute mark, over the last while at least, excluding this game, but that's when the other team gets the first goal. It's about the 5-minute mark I've been noticing.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
I guess
you get a strong
period
4 minutes, and then it starts to go down normally.
Yeah.
So this is
the whole first period isn't isn't really accurate. Yeah, but it's like they always start strong, and then at some point they just like deflate as the game goes.
Yeah,
on.
exactly.
Whether it's in the third period or in the second period, or like you said, 5 minutes in. So
yeah,
but yeah, you
sorry,
got some
very,
fancy stats
very,
up here. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say very random. For some reason, I thought you were wearing a TQR2, and I'm like, when the hell did I add that to the or beanie? I guess if
Yeah.
for our American listeners,
Yeah.
but oh, maybe
Yeah, just kind of how I have it
now
angled.
that I'm
like,
now that I'm looking at
yeah,
it, maybe I need to add one.
it would be all right. Yeah,
Like it's cold here, so it would be something that I would rock for sure.
yeah.
Maybe I have to do that now.
You should.
Okay, now
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing after this now, as I'm adding a toque, a beanie, whatever you want to call it, to the merch store.
Yeah, just in time for spring.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, no. Apparently, today is the first day of winter.
That's true. Yeah,
Like the first official day, and I'm like,
yeah,
ugh. All right.
yeah. I guess by the
Apparently
time
it
it
goes
gets
till
here, it'll be in
March. I'm
time
like,
for
all
spring.
right.
Yeah, it does.
there
Yeah,
you
even
go.
though like it starts to warm up, at least where we are in like February. But
Yeah.
but yeah, just like the way I had my head angled, like you couldn't really see the brim, so it just looked like a toque. Yeah, you're right.
Kind of looks like a toque. So
Yeah, don't mind it. Yeah, getting into some advanced stats for this LA game here that I see you have. Do you want to be the bearer of bad news on this one?
Yeah, I can be. The deserve to win meter from moneypuck.com. Again, if you're newer to the show, I'll just kind of reiterates. The deserve to win meter compiles all of the stats, both, kind of your basic ones and advanced stats, puts it all together and says, okay, out of, 1,000 simulations, this is the percentage that, one team would win based off of what happened in the game kind of thing. So yeah, 78.8% in favor of the LA Kings for this game. The expected goals was 4.12 to LA and 2.19 to Anaheim. So the expected goals looks better than the actual result because we got a second one in the expected. But Phoenix Copley, who that's a name I haven't heard in a hot minute.
Yeah, right. I didn't even know he was in LA.
Yeah, was he was not even in LA. He was in Ontario because remember LA a few weeks ago had sent down Cal Peterson.
Yeah.
Just a few weeks into his brand new deal.
Yeah.
And Jonathan Quick has not been doing great either. And it's just goaltending is an issue for the LA Kings, but apparently not when Phoenix Copley is in net, or Copley.
Yeah, Copley
is in net. Yeah, he had a 1.19 goal save above expected in this game and a 960 save percentage. If that seems very inflated, keep in mind the Ducks had 25 shots against. So, which that's not. I'm not scoffing at the number exactly.
Still though, right? 24 saves on 25 shots is.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we should have been able to do a little bit more, I feel like. But yeah. So.
Yeah. Lukáš Dostál kind of right where you want him to be though. Right where
you expect. Very much so. Yeah, Dostál is doing great. Like I said, if he can show that he can put up, what we were saying that league average right now is about like a 904, 905, just with the increase in scoring and whatnot. Like it used to be, like league average is like a 910 or something like that. And if you're above that, if you're getting into like a 920 kind of thing, you are the elite of goaltenders. And now it's becoming, if you have like a 910 or above for like your season average, you're just the elite.
And like people are happy if you got a 900 save percentage. So
yeah, exactly. So which I am in this case. Dostál with a 902 save percentage and a 0.12 goal save above expected, which is a positive, and on 41 shots. So yeah,
long live Lucas the first, right?
Yeah, exactly. I love Dostál in this game. Still looks great to me, and I mean, again, if he continues to put this up, it's gonna be a bit of a question actually as to what happens when both Gibson and Stolarz are good to go. So I guess jumping a little bit ahead into the injury update, just for reference here, Gibson is considered day-to-day right now, still with an undisclosed injury,
which could
Uh,
mean fucking anything. So
yeah, and Stellaris has been on the IR, confirmed for like lower body, but he's expected to be back on the 23rd, so on Friday against Calgary.
interesting.
So like both of these guys could come back pretty quickly here.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's like if Gibson's still out for Friday and Stellaris comes back, I'm still starting those
Oh,
Dostal games.
100%. Given what he's
Yeah.
just done here against LA and what he's done over the last few games, like especially with Stellaris coming off of what do we know what his injury is even?
Stellaris, just
Stellaris, yeah.
lower body.
Just lower body.
That's all
Yeah.
we know.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. As a
Yeah.
goalie, you don't fuck around with lower body injuries. So like, I wouldn't bother
No.
starting him. Like, sure, you're comfortable enough to put him in a backup scenario, but like, what's the point of getting him in a game when you're just going to have the next 3 days off or 4 days off? I think. Yeah, because they don't play again until the 28th. 4 days off for Christmas.
Yeah,
like,
might as well just have Dostal there. And that's again, he's just expected to be back for the 23rd, is what I was able to pull up.
Yeah.
That's not a guarantee that he's going to be back.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's just like this is possible. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw that he has been like skating and trying to get back into it. So like that's a sign of improvement at least. But
oh, for sure. Yeah.
Honestly though, like especially with that with the Christmas break, or when was the roster freeze? Does that impact with the injured reserve?
Yeah, I think it does, but
the freeze is okay. Oh, here we go. January. Oh no, there's supposed to be a holiday freeze. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so okay, so yeah, we're in the roster freeze right now, actually. So Dostal should be the guy. Sorry, have we determined what it actually is? Because I've heard 3 different ways of saying it.
No, we haven't.
Dostal,
No.
Dostal, and Dostal.
No.
So if I'm kind of just going back and forth between a couple, just that's why I haven't heard a definitive thing yet. So the roster freeze came into effect 11:59 local time on December 19th, so on Monday, and it'll go until the 28th. I just don't know if that affects the IR. In which case the Ducks would be carrying 3 goaltenders with Eriksson Ek, and if Stellaris were to come back.
Yeah, I think you can still have guys come and go off of IR because there's like just as long as you're not over that 23-man roster. So like if you were carrying 22 and then you could bring a guy off of IR that way.
Which I'm just going to double check what the Ducks have right now. They're at 23 right now.
Okay,
according to Cap Friendly.
So yeah, like Stellaris might be healthy, but you can't.
Yeah, you just hold them out for that little bit longer, and hopefully get like it would be that Gibson and Stellaris are back after the Christmas break.
Yeah, although to be fair, Eriksson Ek and Dostal are up on emergency loan, so that's different.
Oh, true. Oh, okay, true.
Yeah, so they actually aren't counting against the roster. I don't totally know how it works, but I don't think they count against the roster spot in this scenario, or like the roster roster freeze wouldn't apply. I don't know, but things are different, so I wouldn't be surprised if we were totally out to lunch.
That's something I'll have to look into in the future there, though.
Yeah, because I'm not sure how it works either, but yeah. Keeping on the train rolling though on good things that are good, nice stats for Ducks, because don't worry, we've got things that are not quite so nice that we're going to talk about. Frank Vetrano gets a goal, and it's been a while. Oh yeah, you got it here actually. 2 goals in his last 3 games now after being goalless since November 1st, so over a month. Almost 2
games. And like we were talking about it, the guy has just been snake bitten because he's been getting shots. He's been getting good shots even, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it just hasn't been going for him. So, but yeah, he gets 2 in his last 3 games. He's only 2 goals away now from his season total last year of 8. He's at 6 now currently. His career high was the 18-19 season where he had 24 goals in 81 games playing for Florida.
Damn, that's pretty good.
But just to show how much he's been around the net this year, those 6 goals for the Ducks, like for Vetrano on the Ducks, have come on 103 shots.
Yeah, that's nuts.
The guy has been firing and just hasn't been able to get anything through, unfortunately. So it's good to see that it's happened in the last couple of games, and hopefully this means that the dam's broken and we're going to see some more out of him.
Yeah. For those curious, that's like a 5.8 shooting percentage, and I think when we've looked previously, he's kind of been around that 10, 11 percentage in his career.
It's uncharacteristically low.
Yeah, for sure. So, glad that things are finally going in for him. It seems like the dam is kind of broken a little bit for him. Like, I don't expect him to go at like a 2 goals every 3 games pace for the rest of the season, but like if he can get if he can get 1 in every 3 games or even 4, like I would be happy about that. But I just
exactly
go back into that 0 and 20 span. So which it's probably just an outlier, like you said. He's snake bitten. So yeah. Not that Frank Vetrano is going to help turn this team around, but it'll at least make things exciting. So
yeah, exactly. Because as much as it's improved, offense is still a struggle.
Yeah.
Like, and when I say improved, I mean like overall for the season, because I know we just had that stretch that was brutal that led to the embarrassing trilogy of episodes that we had here.
Yeah.
So I love that happened, kind of like just
it was kind of funny.
It worked out, but
yeah, it was good. Yeah, and I guess we didn't even say this either, but that was on the power play as well. So both teams actually going 1 for 5 on the power play. So the first 2 goals of the game were on the power play for each side. So that was good. I mean, 20% on the power play, that's decent. I'm not mad about that. 80% on the penalty kill, also not mad about that. Obviously, you don't want to be taking 5 penalties a game. But at least it's even, and it's kind of what you expect in a Battle of California, I guess. Or
just some some
little more physicality
there. Yeah, a little more physicality and whatnot, going at each other and that sort of thing. But I'm trying to find where the what was the Kings power play percentage at?
Oh, like going into this game? Or
even just what it is
now.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find here.
Yeah. You got it. Or are you lost? Do you need adult supervision?
I might.
Okay.
Okay, no, I found it. 15th, 23% even.
Okay. Yeah. So that's decent. Like you said, 15th. So right in the middle, average.
Yeah, and 1 for 5, 20%. Yeah, so that's about right, I guess then. So
yeah, pretty good. Yeah. And then another thing to note here, Justin Kirkland playing his first career NHL game. Very exciting for him.
Yeah, so. I have a preseason worn game, or a preseason game worn jersey of his from last year with the Calgary Flames. So it's not one of the ones hanging up in this room. It's the one jersey that I have not in this room hanging up, actually. It's in the it's in my living room. Not that I don't have the Kirkland side facing out. It just happened to be Justin Kirkland. It was more I was specifically at the team sale looking for just like one of the made in Canada versions. And specifically I wanted a prime green one though, because it has the detailing in the logo. So my argument to my girlfriend was, this is more than just a jersey. This is a piece of art. Therefore it can go up in the living room. And she's like, all right, fine.
If it means you won't ever ask again, then sure.
Exactly. Yeah. So she said the other jersey that I could hang up, however, we're in a rental, like we're renting a place, right? So I don't want to put a whole bunch of like holes in the wall. Would be I do have my one of my jerseys from junior lacrosse hung up, because that jersey in particular I got 2 provincial medals in.
So I got it in like one of those shadow boxes.
I have it in the shadow box. So she said, like, if I were to bring that up, because it's still at my parents, like if I were to bring that like here, I could, like, that's when she would be like, yeah, that's fine to hang that up, kind of thing. But yeah, I don't want to put holes in the wall more than like a thumbtack size kind of thing. So
yeah, that's fair.
But so there's if you're curious, all of these behind me here, they're hung up with command strips. So
Which is not a sponsorship, by the way.
no, it's not. But
go
man,
buy your off-brand command hooks and don't feel guilty.
I should have some stock in them. Let's put it that way. So
yeah. But yeah, it's his first career NHL game, 2 shots, a few hits in just over 7 minutes played. So not bad there. He played I had it up here. He played with the Kelowna Rockets of the WHL. That was his junior team for a few years. And the only thing I know about the Kelowna Rockets is that they acquired Leon Draisaitl for their 14-15 season from the Edmonton Oilers and then proceeded to win the Memorial Cup. So, yeah. And Justin Kirkland was obviously part of that team. So that's the overlap there. Other notable names off of that 14-15 Rockets roster, Josh Morrissey of the Winnipeg Jets, defenseman there, who's having himself quite the season, and Dylan Dubé of the Calgary Flames.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. The one thing I've always loved about the Rockets is their colors, actually.
It's very unique. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and it's like, you look at it, it's like primarily like red and black. You're like, okay, that's not so unique, but it's the shade of like, it's not blue, but it's not teal either.
Elite Prospects lists it as a teal, but it's definitely more green than a teal, but it's like not green.
Yeah, it's like
still blue.
It's almost like a surf green in a way.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me take a look here. There's a website that I use that gives me like the exact like color codes and whatnot for a lot of different teams.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if that is in there. Oh, Canadian Major Junior. Oh,
in the meantime, do you know what the Rockets mascot is supposed to be? Because it's not a rocket.
It's a dragon.
Is that it? Okay. Yeah, like, it looks like a dragon, but like I just don't get how do you get from rockets to dragons?
Yeah. Okay, here. I got it here. Oh, okay, it does call it teal. Okay, now that I look at it, actually, this is a little bit darker.
It's pretty teal. It's like a dark teal. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
But so like their color palette's like black, teal, red, and copper. And it's a darker copper than like the Ducks have, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's a very interesting color combination.
Like a very old used penny that you picked up off the
street. Exactly. That's been through years and years of whatever. So
yeah. Congrats to Justin Kirkland there. And yeah, you know what? That's about all the good things we have to say about this team. I have one more good thing, but this is more in general, so I'll save it for like more after the game kind of stuff.
I was gonna add for Kirkland, he actually had the highest expected goal percentage on the Duck side in this game. 71.36%. It's pretty
higher than we've seen for the Ducks.
Yeah, and on only 2 shots. Holy hell. His expected goals for was 0.3, expected against 0.1 or 0.13, I guess. Again, that's only in like 7.5 minutes of time on ice, but that is a very high and that's in all situations as well. So mind you, he didn't play any power play, or I guess just special teams time, but if you want to look at the expected goals percentage, it kind of explains why the game went the way that it did as well. When your top 3 guys are Kirkland, followed by Shattenkirk and Klingberg.
Oh.
Got a little heartburn there.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then goes Strome, Terry, and Zegras. And then, so Zegras is at 49.23 for the game for percentage. And then it drops to Vetrano at 42.
Oof. Yeah. And I mean, once we go through these next stats, that'll make a ton of sense. Because, Drew Doughty had himself quite the outing on Tuesday night.
Yeah, he did for sure.
So it makes sense that the top competition he was paired up against did not have a very high expected goals percentage or expected goals for. So,
yeah, exactly. Do you want to get into some of that right now, I guess, then?
Yeah, let's do it. Because rip the Band-Aid off. Let's hear it.
Oh, right. Sorry, Dowdy's lines. Okay,
Dowdy,
I thought,
yeah, yeah.
I thought you just meant like there's like other numbers that you wanted to talk about, and I was like, wait a
Oh
second,
no,
like no,
yeah,
this is a you thing. Okay,
yeah,
yeah, sorry, I have to say, and it pains me as well because it's the LA Kings, right? But
yeah.
Drew Doughty was a machine in this game. Honestly,
Unfortunately, yeah.
he played 24 minutes and 38 seconds individually in this game. Just under 7 minutes of it was on the power play, 6:48, and just shy of 5 minutes spent shorthanded. So he's playing on both special
Damn.
teams as well.
That's that's like half of the entire penalty kill time, because
Yeah,
10 minutes would be just under 10 minutes, since I guess we scored a goal on the power play, right? Would be how much
yeah,
penalty kill time they would have had. So if you're playing just shy of 5, that's half, if not more.
yeah, exactly. And then okay, so I'm gonna yeah, okay, so individually for Drew Doughty, he led the game in expected goals, in expected goal percentage at 90.43. And then the breakdown of it, his expected goals against 0.25, and his expected goals for was 2.35, with his actual
Damn.
being 1.
Yeah.
The guy was just
Shit.
offensively driven but defensively sound in this game.
Yeah.
On 5-on-5, he only played with Mikey Anderson as a pairing.
Mm-hmm.
That line played the most for the Kings at 12:48 of ice time. As a line, that line had an expected goals for of 0.929 and an expected against of 0.194. The pairing had an on ice shot attempts for of 20 and against of 5.
That's nuts. You're only allowing 5 shots against in
Yeah,
when you're playing fucking 25 minutes.
like for comparison, that puts them third for pairings, but mind you, like all of the other ones out of the top 3 are like the next time on ice is like 18 seconds.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Where I lost it there. Where'd it go? There we go. So Elder and Spence had the highest shot attempts against at 14. And then Dersey and Watt had 13.
Sorry, did you call him Elder?
Edler. There you go.
Okay. I'm actually not sure what you said, but I swear
I think I did say Elder.
I mean, to be fair, he's old, so
I just read it too fast. That's all it was. But yeah 14,
okay.
13, and then 5. Damn. And they played the most ice time.
Well, fuck,
5-on-5.
If I was Todd McClellan, I would play that line for 25 minutes too if they were only allowing 5 shots.
Exactly. Jeez. Yeah. So yeah, Drew Doughty in this game, honestly, like, yeah, that was a performance by him tonight. So
yeah.
Which was good for the LA Kings and the fans in attendance, but not so good for
anybody
the Ducks.
Else.
Yeah.
For us, for the Ducks, for you guys. No, not fun at all. So yeah. Do you have a shot map for this game? Or anything you want to say about the shot map?
Basically just that the Kings were allowed to shoot from where they wanted, which was basically down the middle in the slot and to Dostal's left.
I really should just put that on the keyboard. Like,
yeah, right.
Yeah, just say that the other team was allowed to score basically from anywhere down the slot, in the middle, like right in front of the net. Yeah, like I feel like you say the same thing every fucking game.
I'm trying to figure out if it's the players that, so I guess that'd be LA's right side, if that's what they liked, if it's something that they know about Dostal or about the Ducks defensively for that left side in particular. Because that's not the first time we've talked about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Well, our left side is Cam Fowler, who that's fine. No issues there, obviously. But after that, yeah,
Oh,
it's
it's a pretty hard drop
Simon
off just thinking
Benoit
about
or
it. Yeah.
Nathan Beaulieu. Sometimes Kulikov plays there, but he hasn't for a while because Drysdale's been out. Colton White, when he's in, plays the left side. Like, yeah.
It's a hard drop. Okay, yeah, that does make sense then for sure.
Yeah. Like, really, Fowler and Benoit, I think, are our only two dedicated left defensemen. Everyone else is either a right D or they play both sides. Don't quote me on that, but it's very close.
Okay.
I guess Cap Friendly's good about having that. So, is that where you were looking?
No, that wasn't. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's okay. Actually, Cam Fowler is listed as a left or a right D.
Okay.
But I don't think I've ever seen him play the right side.
Typically, he's on the left. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe power play. He's slotted on the right.
I guess technically,
because he's a left-handed shot, right?
Yeah. So technically, he would be, I guess. But yeah, Klingberg's a right. Shattenkirk's right D. Kulikov, Vakanainen, and Beaulieu are left or right, and then Colton White, Simon Benoit are left D. Yeah, and then Drysdale's a right D. John Moore, if he ever plays a game, would be a left D. So our left side definitely hurts. Like, even just looking at the lineup, it's like, okay, they're definitely not very deep on that side if you're looking from the other team's perspective. But yeah, so I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only other thing I had about this game is just ragging on John Klingberg. He was a team worst -3 during that game. Nobody was a positive, obviously. That's not a surprise at all. Because,
but a -3 when there was 4 goals against.
But one of them was on the power play. So the worst you can possibly be is a -3. Because power play doesn't count for plus minus.
Oh, yeah, right. Ooh. Yep. Ouch.
Yeah. He was the only one that was a -3. And not only that, because I looked this up, because by the time the 4th goal was scored, I was like, I feel like Klingberg did not have a very good night. And then when I went back and watched the highlights earlier today, it was even more obvious because all the goals were condensed down into 8 minutes or whatever those packages are. And literally every single goal, I would say, is John Klingberg's fault. Like, pretty much solely his fault. So, and I've got the clips here to prove it if you're watching. If you're not, I will do my best to, John and Brian impression here and try and commentate on the game. And so because I have all the tabs open and they're all the same name. I've got to make sure. Yes. Okay. This is the second goal, first one that Klingberg was on for here. So if you're watching, you'll see that Klingberg is the guy currently pressuring. I think that's Trevor Moore, who has the puck along the boards, kind of right at the goal line. And then once Moore passes it off, watch what John Klingberg does here. So he floats around the circle, and then he literally just coasts to the net, not even bothering to cover. Who's 19 on the Kings?
Is that I follow?
Yes, I think you're right. Like, yes, is that Silfverberg? Silfverberg is taking the guy with the puck. I can't see his number. And then Vetrano is he's going to cover that passing lane as well, more so on the guy. But Vetrano's a forward. And so is Silfverberg. If you're John Klingberg, should you not say, oh, maybe I should be closer to the net than the 2 forwards that are out right now? And maybe I should try and take the stick away on this guy, especially because, he takes a couple strides and goes up on, who did we decide that was? I follow that scored? Yeah, I follow. He goes up on I follow's left and he can easily just stick lift that and you don't have a problem.
Okay, so sorry, we got Vetrano, we got Silfverberg,
and this is 53, I think, on the Ducks. Oh no, sorry, that's Colton White, not Silfverberg and Vetrano. And then Silfverberg is this higher guy in the slot. Colton White is the guy in front of the net.
Okay, so
White's
yeah,
13, isn't he? Or is that Benoit? Damn it. No, that's Benoit. Sorry.
Okay, so yeah, so I was just wondering for like I was wondering like who the center was at this point. I believe it would be Vetrano in
It would
this
be Vetrano, yeah.
case. Yeah. So he's where he should be, like kind of
Yeah.
covering that like high slot area.
Yeah. And I would argue that Benoit is what he should be doing too.
Yeah, but yeah, just
Klingberg went full disconnected controller mode here, and like all he had to do was take a couple strides to take away I follow stick, and he doesn't, and it ends up in the back of the net. That is
because
goal number 2.
Vetrano had to step in there.
Yeah, exactly.
That was Vetrano, right? Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
The screen is very, very tiny for me right now.
Yeah, that's fair. So that's goal 2. Moving on to goal number 3, as we get this, which is early third period. So really not long in terms of actual game time after this, after the second goal, but whole intermission in there. So on the third goal, this one is, so John Klingberg currently is at the red line, and you'll see him kind of make a pinch on the Kings player with the puck here as he turns away. I don't really have a problem with this play, but it's the lack of effort after here. So, who's this? Deneau, I think? 53? I don't know. Oh, no, sorry. I went back a little too far. Hold up. Okay, but yes, right there is where John Klingberg, let's see that one more time and I'll try and pause it. So right at the blue line, nope. Yes, that is John Klingberg, that guy that you just saw come to the blue line and now is kind of backing up. That's John Klingberg. When the Kings have the puck and there is already 1, 2, 3 Ducks in the area, why is John Klingberg coming in? And I think that's what he realized because he came and then he started to back up.
Yeah.
But then, now look, 1, 2 Kings, Klingberg was at the red line, and now he's realized, oh, I fucked up, and this is a 2-on-1. And then he tries to get back, and then look at the lack of effort there. Look at how fucking slow he skates to get back. Like, he takes a couple strides, but then he kind of just gives up.
Like, there's like being lanky, and then there's that.
Yeah, when you fuck up like that, I want to see you haul ass and then dive to try and take that pass away. But he just kind of got his stick out there, but really, he just kind of gives up here.
Do we need to show?
And then pass comes across, and then goal.
Do we need to show John Klingberg, Patrick Kane nearly killing himself on the Ovechkin 800th?
Fuck yeah,
for like how to get back. Jesus Christ! And like, yeah, like that's not even like Kane's responsibility for like that.
Exactly.
There, right?
Exactly. He could literally just he was probably at the top of the circles at that time. He probably could have just stood there and been like, well, nothing I could have done on that and just been clear. But he tried. He put in the effort there. So, and now we're going to get to the fourth goal. The anti-hat trick, I suppose, for John Klingberg being on the ice for 3 goals against. And I've got a replay here because you can see it just a little bit better on this one. This is the Fiala goal. And just to recap, John, actually, you know what? No, I do remember this. We do need to go back a little bit because we got to show some context here. I wanted that one. Okay. Well, this is the third goal, but now the fourth one. John Klingberg leading the rush. Uh-oh. Oh, you guys can't see it. Sorry. Here we go. So, halfway through the third, John Klingberg currently leading the rush into the Kings zone. Everybody should be collectively shitting their pants at this point. Oop. Apparently hitting the space bar removes it from the screen.
Wrong screen.
Yeah. Takes the shot. Okay, fine, whatever. And then pursues the puck. Okay. Klingberg, you're a little deep in the zone there, but, Ducks have possession at this point. That's just fine. Takes the puck, makes a move on the man, passes it back to Vetrano. Okay, Vetrano, he's going to get the puck, and then they're going to do the old switcheroo, and John Klingberg will go back to where he should be. Fantastic. Vetrano says, oh, I've got a shooting lane. I'm going to take the shot. Oop! Broken stick. Uh-oh.
Sorry, that was really jumpy. Can you try to show it one more time?
Yes, I can. Sorry.
I didn't
see
any of that.
Okay, so Klingberg takes the puck, passes it up to Vetrano. Vetrano takes the shot, and broken stick. Got to haul ass back the other way.
Yeah.
And Vetrano, good on him, drops the stick, and look, he's already almost at the center line. And Kulikov, is that Kulikov? Beaulieu? One of the two, I can't tell. 28, that's Beaulieu, right? Down here at the bottom.
Yeah, I believe so. I am so horrible with numbers this season. I don't know why. Yes, that is Beaulieu.
Well, our defense has been like just a revolving door. So
yeah.
So Beaulieu's coming back. Vetrano is hauling ass because he knows like, oh, my stick's broken. I got to try and make up for this. Klingberg, he's in a little battle here still. Blue line still in the play. Further ahead than Beaulieu. And now we watch. Okay. At this point, yes, okay. Kevin Fiala is currently trying to split the two defenders, which is Beaulieu and the stickless Frank Vetrano. Okay,
so
that's
Klingberg.
fine.
Okay, so Klingberg. Okay, yeah, you go and cover the guy striking on the right side.
Yes, which he kind of does. He's blocking the pass, sure. But the issue I have with this play, as partially as a defenseman, here we're gonna go back to this from here because it's just how far I went. You should be immediately hauling ass back when you know that you should be on the point, and then the guy who was there covering for you when you decided to go for a jolly little skate down to the goal line breaks his stick. You should be hauling ass back because that Frank Vetrano is essentially useless in this scenario with no stick. Not to mention he's what 5'10", 180 pounds soaking wet. Like he's a small guy, especially compared to John Klingberg. And Klingberg kind of just gives up here. But I would argue that Klingberg should say, no, Vetrano, you get the fuck out of the way because you are useless without your stick here. And this is exactly what happens. Vetrano and Beaulieu then go for the hit. Fiala's like, nah, I'm a strong boy. I'm going to stay on my feet. And if John Klingberg is where Frank Vetrano was right now, even after that failed hit, he would have no problem lifting Fiala's stick. But instead, Fiala just goes backhand in and in. And then you can see how much he gives up if we jump ahead to the overhead angle here. John Klingberg. Okay, you know what? Just going to essentially take a couple strides and coast. Especially when what's his nuts from the Kings backs off. Let's watch that one more time.
Yeah, that
is a lack of defensive awareness there. You either need to glue yourself to that guy or you need to take on Kevin Fiala for the stickless Frank Vetrano here.
Yeah.
And when he looks back, it's like, okay, whoever this Kings guy is that's higher in the slot is not like he's still a threat. Like if that pass gets over, that's a one-timer and Dostal might have the save, but probably not. But that's where I don't know. Like if he was closer to him to make that pass more difficult, he could easily take the stick away right there. Frank Vetrano, if he had a stick, would be able to take it away. Beaulieu is useless because Fiala's he's the right hand if he was going forehand, but because he's going backhand, there's no one to take it there. But he just goes like full coast, especially now that whoever this Kings guy is has stopped at the top of the circle. Like there's literally one King guy that's a threat here, and there's 3 Ducks that should be pressuring him, and like that's it. Nobody.
Now the back off in terms of like the situational awareness that I agree with. However, I will say Vetrano is in for how this played out. Vetrano is in the right position, actually, stickless or not.
Yes, he is. Yeah, no, this is not about this is not about Frank Vetrano at all.
No, but I mean, like benefit of the doubt, I guess, to Klingberg of like kind of where he is in relation to it. That being said, like even like a stickless Frank Vetrano in this case, I would actually prefer that over Klingberg being the guy there because he would have backed off on that before.
Yeah, and I mean hindsight's 20/20, right? So like I can easily sit here and say if Klingberg was covering him instead of Vetrano, this goal doesn't happen because he's able to because then Fiala doesn't even have the option to dangle to the backhand because Klingberg's right there. Like it's literally just a tap and the puck is gone, or a stick lift and then Klingberg has the puck, right? Or Fiala stays on the forehand, and now Beaulieu has the puck. Like, so hindsight is 2020 there, but like I can just, especially with how the other two goals played out, I can just see the lack of effort here. Like or I'm blowing the lack of effort out of proportion here, where like, okay, you need to pick somebody. Either you need to take yourself out of this 2-on-1 and cover the second guy in to prevent the pass across, or you need to tell Frank Vetrano to get the fuck out of the way so that you can make a play on Kevin Fiala. And again, I guess also in Klingberg's fairness, watching it back, somebody runs a little bit of interference at the blue line here with John Klingberg right there, just enough to not like, it's not even interference. He just kind of runs a bit of a pick on him.
It's
like,
a
totally
bump.
legal.
Yeah, it's a pick.
Yeah, just enough to get him out of the play. But when John Klingberg is leading the rush into the zone, that's a problem. When he doesn't cover the trailer or whatever, cover Fiala, who ends up scoring on the play, that's the second problem. So and then you add in the other two goals. For me, that's where this was just an awful decision by John Klingberg. You know, maybe in the ideal scenario, Frank Vetrano hauls ass to the bench so that he can get a stick, cover the trailer, and John Klingberg is this second guy up. That's like, again, hindsight, that's my ideal scenario, but John
in this
Klingberg
case,
should have
Vetrano,
shown,
okay, my stick broke. Okay, the guy's going, and this was my shot. I'm trying to make up for this. Yeah.
So credit to Vetrano, but I think personally, John Klingberg should have shown a little bit more leadership there and said, "No, I got this. Get the fuck out of the way. You're useless without your stick. You're 5. Like, how big is Frank Vetrano actually? I feel like I need to know. Like, obviously, you're not going to say this live, but just like, nope, I got this. Like 5'11",
5'11", 197.
Okay, for an NHL player, that is tiny. So
compared to Klingberg, who is lighter at 190 but is 6'3".
Yeah, he's got that.
And with a lot longer of a stick too.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just like by the end of the play, he's really not doing anything. Like, he's not blocking the passing lane, and he's not taking Fiala's stick away. So like,
yeah,
that's like, at that point, like, what do you do? Like, he just looked kind of lost out there at that point. Like, what happens if Fiala doesn't score on that and it's a phenomenal save by Dostal? What are you doing? Like, you're not going to be the guy to retrieve the puck because you're at the top of the fucking slot. You're not covering anybody else because the next closest king is top of the other face-off circle, and the other one is like at the blue line on the opposite side. Like, what's your plan here, man? Like, especially after the second goal, which you were again literally covering nobody, and the third goal, which was a bad pinch, and then you went full on dead batteries, and just and you're not Alex Ovechkin, so you can't outscore your fucking mistakes. And then this one where you went for a little skate and then didn't bother to really back check. It's like, you deserve to be -3. You deserve to be -6 in a 4-1 game. Like, fuck.
If possible.
I was just not happy about it. So rant over.
Yeah, just the lack of effort and awareness has been a major thing with Klingberg this year. Like, I kind of hope that it's just still the what was it? It was I think it was 32 Thoughts. Or the Jeff Merrick show. One of those two. I never know, honestly, off the top of my head, because I'll listen to both with Elliot Friedman and Jeff Merrick. I think they were talking about it was Huberdeau, and even though he wasn't a free agent, like, kind of treat it like a free agent signing, where it takes guys about a year to get into it. The issue is Klingberg is only here for a year. He's in a prominent spot and is honestly doing worse than I would think, even given that they're not going to be great in the first year kind of mentality.
Yeah, exactly. It's been awful.
It has not been great. So
no, definitely not. So yeah, that's, you know, if one of these happens, sure, it's mistakes happen. Like, it doesn't matter how long you've been in the league, sure, but when all three of these happen, at that point,
on your watch,
on your watch, this loss is on you, and nobody else is -3. Like it's on, like, yeah, plus minus sucks, but when you're -3 and someone like me can trace back the fault to you on every single goal, that's a problem. Like if Trevor Zegras was -3 and in these scenarios, like I would probably be like, oh, he was probably changing, or like, you know what, he was covering the guy in the slot, but it was a shot from the point, or a shot from the face-off dot. Obviously, that's not on him because he was covering his man. But you're a defenseman, and you were out of position.
You're a defenseman. Act like it.
Yeah, exactly. So it almost seems like he's given up, like at this point, or maybe he was very hungover. I don't fucking know, but something was up. So
like that, yeah. Maybe he was hungover.
Hungover at fucking 7 in the evening. I mean, maybe it's possible, but yeah. Well, let's make things a little happier. I've got more clips for us here. So,
all right.
This is a good one. And this is not even really in relation to the game. It just happens to be a clip from this game. Oh, we don't want that Ducks Kings highlights. We want this Ducks Kings highlights. So, this is about Trevor Zegras, the man we all know and love here. At this point, Trevor Zegras is, if you can see the stick here at the red line on the very left of the screen, that is Trevor Zegras right now. So just watch this play. Comes in with speed, takes a shot, and saved by Copley for sure. But, there was a great zone entry by Trevor Zegras, and a great shot option, I would say, just to get it on net. And then they had some zone time after that. And this comes in with speed here, basically all alone, looks to his left, sees 1, 2, 3, 4 Kings defenders. No problem. I got this. Goes in and takes a shot essentially right at, I don't know who number 2 is. Is that Mikey Anderson with the Kings?
Oh, shoot. I got rid of the rosters. Not sure.
Okay. That one I don't know either. But basically, he's shooting like a couple feet, like a good stick's length away from the Kings defender here, and kind of using him as a screen. So that's a very difficult save by Phoenix Copley. And honestly, kind of impressed that he makes it. Like, it's not a total screen because I feel like, well, he kind of shoots like to the side of number 2, not through the legs, but
yeah, I was gonna say Money Puck has that actually as that shot went wide. Copley didn't get a piece of it.
Oh, he didn't even get a piece? Okay.
No.
Yeah. This is the only time they show it here, and so I couldn't really remember. But yeah. It's, you know what? Decent shot. I'm not mad, even though it goes wide. And just for comparison here, this is not a perfect like 1-to-1, but because this clip is from January 2019. Although I have seen this probably hundreds of times since then from somebody off the Edmonton Oilers by the name of Connor McDavid. And watch, it's not 1-to-1, but what Trevor Zegras did, I have literally seen 1-to-1, and I just couldn't find the clip.
I was gonna say really quickly, the normal cliche around the NHL is, okay, that's great, but how does this affect the Toronto Maple Leafs, or how does this pertain to the Toronto Maple Leafs? Apparently, this show is, how does this pertain to the Edmonton Oilers?
How does this pertain specifically to Connor McDavid?
Connor McDavid, yeah.
Although I did bring Leon Draisaitl up earlier, so yeah, kind of. But I promise this is going to be, how does this pertain to the Oilers, and then how does this pertain back to Trevor Zegras?
I'm just bugging you.
I know. So watch this here. McDavid comes in, shoots through a defender, and, well, that's in the back of the net. Who's that? Your boy, Jacob Markstrom.
Oh, fuck you.
Love to see it. Let's watch this one more time. And right there. Again, a good stick's length away, but he's kind of got the puck a little behind him. And then, boom, shot. And if you can see where my mouse is because you're watching, imagine my mouse is the puck, because that's where the little bulge in the twine is. I apologize for the literal 360p quality here. Like it looks like it's on a standard definition was a tube TV from the 90s, but again. So, but the difference that I see is just he comes in and then just a couple extra stick handles just to get the defender open up his legs a little bit and kind of move his stick, and then boom, shot. As opposed to Trevor Zegras, who just kind of comes in, does like the little glide thing, and then shoots around the defender. Get a couple extra sticks just to, I guess, open up. Okay, sorry. Let me start over. If Zegras gets a couple extra stick handles in there just to get the defender a little bit more in front of where he's shooting and open up his legs a little bit more, that makes it 10, 20 times more difficult for Phoenix Copley to save in this scenario, and it's a much better shot on net. And when you have the speed that Trevor Zegras does and the hands that we know Trevor Zegras has, I don't think that's a problem for him. I would love to see him do more of those enter the zone with speed and, oh, the defender's in my way. No problem. I'm just going to use him as a screen so that the goalie doesn't see the shot coming. I think he starts doing that, he gets 5 to 10 more goals a season. And when he's probably already on pace for 30 this season, maybe, that's a significant difference. So
yeah, for sure. Just that utilization of using the defender as a screen there was something I know was just like hammered into my offensive guys for lacrosse, especially, right? To the point that like we did drills both to help me like work on screenshots, but also for the offensive guys to figure out like how to utilize it, right? We pressed hard on that kind of stuff, and it's fantastic for hockey, especially, right? Because it's at times it's so much harder to know, it's coming from ice level, obviously, but I mean, like, just like where exactly it's coming from with just like one person in front. That is already more difficult. Now imagine that with 2 people, 3 people, like you're on a power play kind of thing in front, right?
Yeah.
Just that kind of utilization of the screen there. Yeah, that was a textbook attempt there by Zegras, I think. So
yeah, exactly. Just honestly, a couple extra moves to make some space, and I think he's and just like general improvements on his shot, since I think he's still more of like that passing guy. But again, as we talked about on the last episode, that will come, and I think he is working on it because his shot has gotten better like literally every month that we've seen this guy in the NHL. But if he can just like do those couple extra moves like McDavid does, because he already has the speed, and then just improve his shot to be more difficult to read, say like how guys talk about Austin Matthews, where they are kind of like looking at his hands and the angle of his stick
but then
conjunction.
He's changing it up at like the last second, and
just like that. But like they can kind of guess based off of all of the information. When you're using the defender as a screen, it limits the information the goaltender gets, and then if you change it up last second, fucking good luck. They're not saving that. It might hit them, but it's not a save. So so that is my suggestion for Trevor Zegras, if anyone from the Ducks organization is listening here. But
there you go.
But yeah, just love to see it. It was great. It was great to see. Okay, moving on to the news. You got an injury update for us here.
Yeah, so just kind of all around. Max Jones is the most recent one. He's been placed on IR as of Tuesday with a upper body injury. This should be retroactive back to that game against Ottawa. He's expected also to be back for the 23rd against Calgary there. Derek Grant is officially on the IR, I believe. We didn't talk about that last time, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
With a lower body injury, and he's expected to be back December 28th against Vegas. As we said already, John Gibson day-to-day with an undisclosed injury. And I guess headed into, as we're recording this part before the Minnesota game, Eero Vakanainen is day-to-day with illness, so he is out for the game against Minnesota.
Oh, damn. I was gonna say, oh, we should look at lineups, but that's gonna be fucking irrelevant by the time everyone hears this. So
Yeah.
I'll look at that after.
Yeah, so Kirkland's recall was in response to Max Jones getting placed on IR.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. And then we've got some trade news as well. And not the most exciting, but it happened. It's a trade.
Yeah, I was like, oh, the Ducks did a thing. They made a 3-way trade. It's minor league, guys. So it's a 3-way trade: Anaheim, Detroit, and Florida. Anaheim receives Michael Del Zotto from the Florida Panthers. He will report to the San Diego Gulls effective immediately. And this is Del Zotto's third stint with the Ducks, actually.
That's what I was just going to say. I was like, haven't we traded for him before?
Yeah.
And yeah, apparently twice.
Yeah, so he's had 2 goals and 18 points in 61 NHL games in the past. He was with the Charlotte Checkers of the AHL for Florida's system before being traded. Detroit received...
sorry, go ahead. Sorry, were those stats, those 61 games, that was like just with Anaheim? Or
yes.
Oh, okay.
Detroit received...
he's played a lot more, so...
Yeah. Detroit receives Danny O'Regan from the Anaheim Ducks. And Florida received Giovanni Smith from the Detroit Red Wings. So it's a minor league trade all around.
Yeah.
Primarily, but yeah, it's a trade nonetheless, I guess, for the Anaheim Ducks. So it's something, I guess.
As we talked about earlier, Ducks pretty weak on left D. Michael Del Zotto is a left defenseman. Obviously, I don't think he gets the call up. I don't think he takes a roster spot from anybody, but someone goes down on the left side. Del Zotto's at least played how many games? 736 in the NHL. I think you're pretty confident about him being able to step in and not make any glaringly obvious mistakes. He's not going to be a standout guy, but serviceable.
I was not expecting that number, actually. Like, I knew he'd played a fair amount, but 736 games. Yeah, that's why I started laughing.
Yeah, like you're like, oh yeah, like he's been around for a while. I've heard his name, but like, yeah, he's probably played a few hundred games in his career. Yeah, several hundred.
Yeah.
So,
jeez.
Yeah. Is he? I can't remember if you said this. Is he on a 2-way deal?
I don't know offhand.
Not sure.
I've
got cap friendly up here, so he's on a just. Oh yes, he's got a different minors salary. So yeah, 450 in the minors, 750 if he plays in the NHL. So just signed for 1 year.
450 in the minors?
Yeah.
Damn, that's pretty good.
Yeah, no, it's decent for sure. There was another reason I had cap friendly. Oh yeah, I wanted to see trade history. What have we given up to get Del Zotto on our team so many times? Okay, so we have acquired Michael Del Zotto in 2019, and we gave up Luke Shen and a 7th round pick, which turned into Victor Persson. So yeah,
Luke Shen, who's been doing decent for the Canucks this season.
He's been all right. Yeah. We then traded him to St. Louis for a 6th round pick, which turned out to be Matthew Hill. Also in 2019. Yeah. And then we signed him in free agency the second time around. Would that be his second stint? I don't remember.
No, what we just read was the first stint.
Was the first one? Okay. So the second one is...
maybe that... No, the 18-19 season and then the 19-20 season, I think.
Oh, yes. Okay. So, yeah, we had him in 2019, traded for him in 2019, then traded him away in 2019 to St. Louis. And then in July 2019, we signed him to a contract in free agency. And that was just before we started this show.
Yeah.
Because we did it for the 19-20 season. Okay, and now we have traded for him again. And in that one, we gave up Danny O'Regan, who I think has been okay in San Diego. Not like great, but...
Yeah, well, I mean, we're Yeah, we are going to talk about him a little bit in the goals update. So
Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
I think that is the perfect segue into the Gulls update then.
All right, and then we'll go back for the upcoming games and predictions because
Sure.
that's a little bit longer, just because we are going to be taking the Christmas break.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So goals update. It has not been going well in San Diego either. Their last 3 games, so I believe it was Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, was a 5-4 loss to the Abbotsford Canucks, an 8-1 loss to the Coachella
Oof.
Valley Firebirds, and a 9-4 loss versus the Tucson Roadrunners.
That was a loss.
That was a loss. Yeah, I have
You didn't
that
put in.
written
Oh man,
wrong.
I was hoping
there.
because like you had the numbers written the other way, it was a win, but
No, that was a loss, unfortunately. When I was doing this portion of it, I was doing it off my phone. So,
gotcha.
yeah, so that puts or keeps the Gulls in 10th spot in the Pacific Division out of 10 teams with a 6-21-0 record. Next up are more games against the Tucson Roadrunners on December 22nd and 23rd before the Christmas break.
We don't obviously follow the Gulls a ton, but it feels like they have not won a game in a long time. And
It has not been a long time.
I'm
Or
currently
it has
looking
been
at
a
their
long time, sorry.
yeah, I'm currently looking at their schedule. Nate, if you had to guess when the last time the San Diego Gulls won a game was, when do you think it would be?
10 games ago?
Oh, I didn't count the games. I was looking date. 1, 2,
Oh.
3, 4, 5, 6. That's okay. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games.
Okay.
So they're on an 11-game losing streak.
Rip.
Yep. They beat the Grand Rapids Griffins on Saturday, November 19th, a 6-1 win at home.
And that was the last one. Ouch.
Yep. I mean, it doesn't help when you play the Calgary Wranglers 4 games in a row and like obviously
get shit stomped and
yeah. The first 2 were rough, and then the next couple you're not real. You're kind of expecting more of the same, and so but not great. So
yeah, and then with a fair amount of transactions, I guess, over the last little bit, your the top 5 players and goaltenders are it's a little interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So in 8th spot, which is now technically tied for 5th, Jacob Perreault and Braden Tracy with 11 points each. Now technically in 4th spot for active is Olli Juolevi with 12 points. As it's listed, Justin Kirkland is still 13th. Or sorry, has 13 points for 5th spot on the team, but he is currently with the Anaheim Ducks. And Daniel Reagan, who now just got traded to the Detroit Red Wings, is 4th with 18 points, which is tied with Bo Grew at 18 points, followed by Nicholas Brouillard with 22 points in 2nd, and Rocco Grimaldi with 24 points there for 1st spot.
Pretty good.
Both of our AHL goaltenders in Lukáš Dostál and Ole Eriksson Ek are currently up with the Ducks, which leaves Garrett Metcalf and Daniel Manella to tend the pipes for San Diego. Garrett Metcalf has been getting the majority of time with 168 minutes and 17 seconds in over 3 games. He has allowed 16 goals for a 5.7 goals against average and an 828 save percentage.
So
and
not fantastic, but I mean,
yeah.
What are you going to do?
And Daniel Manella has appeared in 2 games, which in what I hope is relief.
Do we want to even say this? Like, is this not just? Is this not just like mean to?
It's very inflated because it's in like the small amount of time that he's played.
Mm-hmm.
So 6 goals against in 8 minutes and 55 seconds. The math goes out to a 40.37 goals against average.
Okay,
and
so
a 538 save percentage.
So I know that against Abbotsford, that in that game he started and he let in 3 goals.
No, he started.
So I know that one was a start.
Okay, I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, the thing I'm not sure about, I think it was against Tucson that he started. Let's see here. I would imagine because 9 goals would mean both goals
Mhm.
probably played. Um, Following the start from this is from the AHL's website. From the start of the game, the Roadrunners took control, registered 3 goals in the opening 4 minutes of the period. Blah 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 blah. Um, Goaltender Garrett Metcalf relieved Daniel Manella following the play.
Mhm.
So yeah, he
Rip.
he has started twice and only lasted 4 minutes in the one and 5-ish, almost 5 in the other one. So, not what you want to see from a guy who, I mean, obviously, it's a weird situation, anyways, with Dostal and Eriksson Ek having to be up, but like,
Yeah.
you do, and you're kind of maybe expecting the loss, right? And maybe a few bad goals getting in, but I don't think you're expecting that
Yeah,
from
exactly.
someone. And like, if you're Manella too, like you that's probably never happened to you in your career either, right? Like
Yeah.
from what I remember when we first talked about him, he's a decent ECHL goalie, but
Mhm.
just I don't know if it's the pressure of being called up or if his potential is the ECHL, so he isn't
Yeah,
not
I was
suited for the HL, but like that's you still don't want to see that. Like nobody expects that bad of a
yeah,
performance.
I was gonna say it's a jump in skill level overall from the ECHL to the AHL, the same way it is for the AHL to the NHL. Like
Mm-hmm.
drastically different at all 3 levels.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So yeah, for goaltenders facing higher caliber shots, that sort of thing, who have been like, and that's not to take away from the ECHL as well. Those guys would still dance around the vast
They would
majority
fucking
of
wipe the
people if
floor with us.
yeah,
Like,
if they showed up at your beer league game. But yeah, I'm kind of chalking it up to that a little bit more, right? Of just the
yeah.
the skill level and that sort of thing. And
And
also
probably
the
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 pressure of it too. So,
but also the goals in front, right? Like we talked about this before, that the kind of years of success along with the mismanagement as well of prospects and that sort of thing.
yeah.
Our prospect pool is a little dry right now.
Mm-hmm.
In like in in areas, I guess. Like I know it's been
Yeah.
talked about as strong, but those strong guys are the ones who are
Now
up
in the
with the Ducks
NHL.
right now. Yeah, so
Yeah.
the guys that we have down, it's a little dry at the moment. So,
Two,
but
two,
when
3 years
then you
ago, it
go
was
to
strong, right? And now those
yeah,
guys are up. So, yeah, what do you do? Yeah.
yeah. So, but then you go to junior and it looks a lot better. So once those guys come to the NHL, assuming the AHL kind of first,
Mm-hmm.
it'll look a little bit better in that respect again. And yeah,
Yeah.
so
It's just the natural ebb and flow of hockey. So,
yeah.
yeah.
All right. I guess that leaves upcoming games and predictions, which we're gonna do a little bit more. We don't have to get in as deep, I guess.
Yeah.
We can just kind of give the predictions, I
For the
think, for
most
this.
part. Yeah.
So because
Yeah. I
we
think
are
so.
we're gonna go through the predictions here all the way up until we get back from our Christmas break, which will be Wednesday, January 4th, when the Anaheim Ducks take on the Dallas Stars. So uh I'll read through the upcoming 5 games
Yeah. Sure.
until our return, and then we can go individually and do the predictions for them.
Sounds good.
So
Yeah.
first up is coming up this Friday versus the Calgary Flames. Starting off a very lengthy homestand for the Anaheim Ducks. Game time is at 7:30 Pacific. Then there's the Christmas break for the NHL. The next game for the Ducks will be next Wednesday, December 28th, versus the Vegas Golden Knights at 7 p.m. Pacific, followed by Friday, December 30th against Nashville at 2 p.m. Pacific. Then heading into the
Interesting.
new year, Monday, January 2nd, when the Flyers come to town, 7 p.m. Pacific. And then again, Wednesday, January 4th, versus the Dallas Stars at 7 p.m. Pacific.
So I know that that Friday, December 30th, like kids aren't in school and it's a Friday and it's over the holidays, right? But like
Yeah.
a 2 p.m. start, like some people do still have to work that day, right? So like it's just like, yeah, like the kids won't be in school, but like who's going to be around to take the kids to school, to the game, you know?
I'm double checking if there's just like a specific holiday or something like that we're maybe not aware of.
Maybe. Because, I mean, I think most, at least in Canada, most places have Monday the 2nd off as the holiday, um, not the Friday. But, I mean, could be
This
different.
is the States, though, so they might give the Friday and a Monday.
That's true, yeah. Or they could just be like, you know what, fuck it, take the whole week.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure a lot of people would do that anyways, just with their vacation. But yeah, I mean, it could be a holiday we're just not aware of, or they.
Oh, this is why it's National Bacon Day.
Oh, well, there we go. Fucking obviously. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, very weird.
Yeah, I'm not sure of anything offhand.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they wouldn't do it if they didn't think people would show up, right? So,
yeah.
Because this one is in Anaheim. Yeah. Oh yeah, because we're on that homestand. So, yeah, but you know, yeah, why not?
Yeah,
I guess why not? So, yeah, I guess let's do predictions here starting with Calgary. So, yeah, I guess as you can see here, we did not get the Kings prediction right. We don't know at the time how Minnesota is going to go. So, yeah, Nate, you know all about Calgary, I suppose. So you shouldn't hit this one on the head. No.
Maybe not the exact score. I feel like I might get a team though. The Calgary Flames were on a 6-game losing skid, which included overtime losses, but it is a losing skid. They might have gotten some confidence back with back-to-back wins against San Jose, which is also a weird scheduling thing as well.
That is. Yeah.
But yeah, where they beat the San Jose Sharks, it was 7-3, and I can't remember the Monday night score. Either way, the Flames scored a lot of goals. I think it was 5-2 was the Monday night. So I think they might have a little bit of confidence back with them. Then again, though, the Anaheim Ducks throughout the last few years, even in the time that like we've been covering the team, they seem to like to play the Calgary Flames. I don't know. And like all bias removed. Calgary still is overall the better team, I think. So I'm picking them to win, and I'm going to say it's 4-2.
4-2 for Calgary. Oop.
If Anaheim can, if Jacob Markstrom is starting and Anaheim can get a quick shot in the first 2 minutes, you got a chance of not being shut out automatically.
Yeah.
Because Jacob Markstrom, for some reason, has been letting in the first or third shot of the game almost regularly for the last while.
The Flames are going to be on the second half of a back-to-back. They'll be in LA the night before. I'm not going to pretend to know Daryl Sutter, but he's an old guy. He's somewhat traditional in the way he coaches, maybe not in the way he interviews, but in the way he coaches. I would be very surprised if he didn't start Markstrom against the LA Kings, which means Dan Vladar would be the man, the myth, the legend, right? I guess in Calgary.
Vladar's been playing
season, 905
really
save percentage.
Well. Yeah, he's been playing well over the last while. Yeah, I'm not going to try to think I know what Daryl Sutter might be thinking as well. A lot of Flames fans are just like, fuck it, let's see what he puts together on a nightly basis at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to go down that rabbit hole of like Flames Twitter a little bit, it has been a little everywhere with Daryl Sutter as of late. But yeah. So I'm going with a 4-2 win for Calgary.
Okay. I'm going to say the score is going to be 4-3, and The winner that I pick may surprise you, Nate. And I know that you still have no idea which way I'm going to go with this, but
Yeah, I don't.
But my reasoning is
because it could be surprising that you pick Calgary because you hate Calgary.
Yeah.
It could be surprising that you pick Anaheim because you're picking them for a win.
Yeah, exactly. But the reason I am saying this is because as you said, for some reason, Anaheim likes to play against Calgary as in years past. But B, I just can't pick. I physically cannot pick.
You can't pick
Calgary to win. So I'm going to pick Anaheim for this one. And if Anaheim does win, it's not going to be because they played the best game ever or like Calgary just shat the bed. So I'm going to say 4-3, where I feel like 4 goals is good for Anaheim to score on any given night. And you know what? I feel like Dostal can reasonably steal us a game, but still let in 3 goals on like 55 shots.
Yeah, well, I mean, he did it against the Kings, right?
Exactly.
41 shots against, and I mean, we didn't win the game, but he still played great.
Yeah, exactly. But it was, if we had scored 4 goals, then we would win 5-4. So
I was going to say a 4-3 win for Anaheim would be because Daryl Sutter continues what he's been doing for the last couple of games, double shifting Milan Lucic in the third period.
Seems like a recipe for success, if you ask me.
No. It was apparently for the last game against San Jose because Lucic scored, I think, 2 goals after not scoring for 72 straight.
Oh, yeah. We talked about that when we talked about Jason Magna. That's right.
Yeah.
Or Jacob or Jason. I'm going to never remember.
I don't know. But yeah, so that 72 was including playoff games as well. So almost an entire season of games without a goal. And before he had scored against San Jose, even he was being double shifted. That's where I'm saying that Flames fans have no idea whatsoever what is going on in Daryl Sutter's mind.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because any other reasonable person, and like it came against the San Jose Sharks too, right? Which I know the Ducks can't necessarily talk a whole lot of shit comparatively because the Sharks are still ahead in the standings and whatnot. San Jose Sharks, though, are not a very great team, right? So, and some of the defensive breakdowns that they had in the couple of games against Calgary, oh my God. But it was still just Flames fans were just like, what the fuck is going on? Why are you double shifting Milan Lucic? Especially in like kind of the games before when they were on the losing streak and were behind and needed goals. Because, yeah, the guy with 70 games without a goal is the guy that you're sending out there to score for you. So,
yeah, it's a little questionable, but
yeah, a little bit.
Speaking of questionable things, that would be showing up to a game after 4 days off against where the Anaheim Ducks are against the Vegas Golden Knights. I don't know why you would ever want to subject yourself to that. I would be very surprised if we saw many fans in the stands for this game. If you have family in town, I hope to God that you said, oh, I accidentally lit the tickets for this game on fire, so no, we can't go. I am just going to straight up come out and say this 4-0 again for Vegas, because that's what happened last time.
I got the same spread. I'm going 5-1 for Vegas.
Slightly less disappointing. I like it. Okay, moving on to Nashville. Afternoon game against the Preds. Last time we played an afternoon game, it's against Edmonton. You guys know what happened there. Do you have a score prediction for this one, Nate?
The last game against the Preds specifically was a month ago, November 29th, which was a 2-1 final in overtime. Was that the game that Zegras had that horrible giveaway, or was that was that game? I don't remember offhand now.
No. Yeah. I think
either way.
I think it was, but I don't remember for sure. I would have to. Who scored that one? Because that would tell me.
I've
got it right. Roman Josi.
Oh, okay. No, then I don't think that's what it was.
I don't think so either. But it was. But that's the only game we've lost in overtime, is it not?
No, we've lost a couple more, I think.
We've lost in a shootout, but I don't think we've lost in overtime. No. Yeah, I'm looking at the schedule and that's it. So it had to have been that game, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, there was. Which was still a very good game.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember how, from my recollection, Nashville hasn't been doing too great as of late. I'm just double checking what their last 10 has been.
Okay.
Yeah, they're 4-2.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. 5-8-2 on the road. So that's kind of hopeful, I guess. I'm gonna go one up from the last game. It's gonna be a 3-1 Nashville win.
3-1 Nashville. I'm gonna say 3-2 for Anaheim. It's the holidays. It's almost Christmas. I'm feeling the love. Let's give Anaheim some love here. Philadelphia.
See, now this is the game that I was gonna give the love. I'm gonna go. Okay. I'm gonna 3-2 Anaheim.
3-2. Okay. I'm also feeling no. This team always lets me down when I'm like, oh, this is a team we should reasonably beat. No, I know I just said it's the holidays, but fuck, we got to give this one to Philly. I'm going 4-1.
Yeah, the Flyers, again, as of this recording, 3-5-2, sorry, in their last 10, and their road record 4-6-6.
Okay. Yeah.
So that 3-2 might be another overtime loss there for the Philadelphia Flyers.
Potentially. Yeah. And then, we got Dallas on Wednesday, January the 4th, which is when we'll be doing our first episode of the new year. So we'll have a post-game reaction for that. And you guys, I guess, will hear this at the beginning of the episode when I talk about it later when we do our post-game for Wild. If you didn't follow that, that's okay. But not you, because I know you know what's going on, Nate, but the general you. Yeah.
Or do I know what's going on? I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. But that's what's going to go on with that one. So is the post-game stuff for this game. Do you have a prediction, or?
I'm going to hope that it's nicer than the last time we played the Dallas Stars, which was a 5-0 loss. I'm going to go
4-0 loss.
5-0. Oh, sorry. Okay, I thought you were correcting me on the score. I'm looking at it right here.
Yeah. It's like, I'm going to be nicer and just say that they get shut out less horribly.
I'm going to take your Philly score for actually no.
No. Yes, maybe.
No, I'm going to go 3-1.
3-1
for Dallas.
Okay. Oh man, I haven't even been looking at like the back-to-back scenarios, and I mean, not that I've gotten any of these predictions right, so it's not really going to matter. But yeah, Dallas. What are they doing in the new year? Oh, they're in LA the night before. Who's the backup in Dallas? Behind Ottinger.
Scott Wedgwood.
Ooh, how's he been doing? Do you know?
From like off the top of my head, he's been doing all right, but I can double check his numbers for you.
That would be much appreciated. Yeah,
I can do that.
And while you do that, I'm going to see if Philly plays in LA 2 nights before, because the teams always seem to play in LA before they face us. What's the Vegas scenario? That's probably going to be the first game back for them after the holidays as well.
Yeah.
Oh no, they're in LA the night before too, so second half of a back-to-back. Do I want to change my 4-0 prediction? No, I do not.
Okay, so Scott Wedgwood this year has appeared in 13 games, has a 6-4-3 record, a 3.03 goals against, and a 9.10 save percentage. He was the starting guy for a little bit when Jake Ottinger was out for a couple weeks.
Okay, gotcha. 5-2 Dallas. Maybe an empty net in there.
And just for comparison, Jake Ottinger, 23 appearances this year, a 13-4-3 record, a 235 goals against, and a 922 save percentage.
It's pretty good.
Kid has been unreal.
Yeah. Just to finish up the back-to-back thing I was talking about, when we play Nashville, that is the first half of a back-to-back. Nashville will be in Vegas for a 1 p.m. New Year's Eve daytime game at 1 p.m. or noon. No, 1 p.m. local? Yeah, they're the same time zone as us, right, Nate? Vegas?
No, Vegas is an hour back.
Oh, they are? They're Pacific too?
Vegas
okay,
is
so
Pacific,
then noon Pacific. But still, so yeah, that's what we think. So I am feeling the love just a smidge more than you with predicting 2 Anaheim wins. And you've got the 1 against Philly. So yeah. Well, that's where we're at for predictions. Shall we wrap up this episode with a holiday edition that has nothing to do with the holidays of what's quacking?
Whatsoever. I mean, the one kind of does if you think like, it's snow and whatnot.
I guess,
yeah, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, cool. I mean, our gift to you guys is a 2-for-1 what's quacking. So
yeah,
holiday edition.
Giving you some double going ons here. So this first is a clip from is a interview from Variety with Steve from Blue's Clues.
That's not the first time we've talked about Steve on here either.
It's not. Why do I forget his last name? Is it Steve Burns? I was right, Steve Burns.
I always want to say Steve Rogers because I know it's like the same sort of like word and then an S at the end.
Yeah.
But
so
obviously that's not him. So
to add to the legend of Steve Burns, I guess, besides being and this is 100% biased and I don't care, the best host of Blue's Clues.
In my headcanon, he's the only host. So
he's been rumored or like news, like tabloids have come out that he has perished multiple times, actually. And so this interview with Variety, he addresses a few of these rumors about his demise. So here you go.
Steve Burns, and I'm going to address the rumors about me. I did not die in a car accident. I did not die of an overdose. This is the worst Dr. Seuss book in history. I did not die of a terminal illness. The death rumors were at one point so persistent that I used to try to create my own. I died in a whaling accident in Nova Scotia.
Trying to create your own death rumors. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's good. That's just like embracing like the shitty media at that point. We're just like, let's just see how much fun I can have with this.
Exactly. Okay, so this next thing here, unless there's anything else you want to say about Steve.
Not about Steve specifically, no, but I just think it's funny that some people like come up with conspiracy theories that celebrities died like years ago and got replaced by like a body double or whatever. Because like
there's like the Avril Lavigne.
There's an Avril Lavigne one, yeah, where it's like she died like 15 years ago and got replaced by some random person.
There was one clip of an interview that for a split second made me believe in that conspiracy.
Oh yeah,
because she was talking about like when because she's Canadian. Mm-hmm. And when she would return to Canada, the first thing that she does is goes to Tim Hortons, right? Because it's not as large of a thing in the States. Mm-hmm. I don't even know how many there are in the States, but it's not many to my recollection.
Yeah.
But so she was describing as well what she would get, right? Like it was this and an iced cappuccino. That's what ticked me off because no one in Canada calls it an iced cappuccino. It's an iced cap.
Yeah. I guess it depends because like maybe like she had said like chosen to say that because like she knows that nobody outside of Canada says iced cap, or like if it was, especially if it was like a pre-recorded one, she was like, and then I get an iced cap and people were like, what is that? And she was like, oh, it's just like milk and coffee and ice chips mixed together.
I mean like they know
like an iced cappuccino is. Yeah, and then they're just like, oh, so like an iced cappuccino, yeah. And then they're like, well, Americans are stupid, so we got to re-record you saying this clip as iced cappuccino.
Well, I think this
or
was
something like
with-
weird like
I think
that.
this was with a Canadian publisher though, or like Canadian company that she was being interviewed by. I don't remember offhand, but that was just one of those.
Like they would still want to be like relatable to the States, right? But yeah, you're right. It is still.
That was
weird,
just the one thing that was just like, wait a sec, no Canadian calls it an iced cappuccino.
Yeah,
maybe she did get replaced. I don't know.
It's
my favorite one is that like
my
favorite one is that like Tupac's still alive, just somewhere else.
Yeah,
kind of thing. Yeah. All right. So the last thing I have here, to put it bluntly, it is cold as fuck where we are right now in
like
southern Alberta, Alberta in general.
Yeah, -30 generally with the wind chill. Which you might not know what that is. I don't know if they have to deal with wind chill outside of Canada, but essentially feels like -39. If we make that a nice even -40, because it has definitely been that as of late, -40 Celsius
is -40 Fahrenheit.
Is it actually?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Straight across.
Wow, the math geek in me is like just so horny right now.
And I know for like specifically for where we live, tonight with the wind chill, it's either tonight with the wind chill or tomorrow night with the wind chill. It's supposed to be about -50 or -52, I think, with the wind chill, which is -62 Fahrenheit for everybody. It is cold as fuck here.
Yeah.
So with that, we've also had some just like a few dumps of snow. Like I've been gone for the last 3 days, and I woke up this morning and I was like, oh, I have to go shovel in this -40 Celsius weather.
Mm-hmm.
My beard today I looked like Santa because it was completely frosted.
And you had probably a red nose and
I couldn't even like open my mouth a whole lot because otherwise it would it spreads your top lip kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like the hairs on like my mustache were frozen together, and so it would just pull on it.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. I just have to remember that I live here for the free healthcare. There's no hurricanes, no tsunamis, and nothing poisonous is trying to kill me. So anyway, with that, there was a post here that was doctored. However, it's still funny as hell, I think, from the city of
seems
Lethbridge.
Legit.
Yeah, but it's a very good Photoshop for sure.
Mm-hmm. And it wouldn't surprise me if they actually put something up that said this.
I came across this from the Instagram account Uleth Wilden, which I love that account as a Uleth student still, unfortunately. And I was actually part of one of their, I think, first 5 posts. If you want to go way back in their thing, there is a clip of me doing a trick shot for beer pong. I used a lacrosse stick to throw the pong ball, rounded one cup and popped into the next one.
And it's been all downhill ever since for Nate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so here I'm pulling it up for those who are watching. Where did it go? Oh, window. Here we go. So an update from the city of Lethbridge. Before everyone calls City Hall about where are the plows or why isn't my road plowed, please remember that side streets always get plowed last. However, your mom will continue to get plowed first. That remains the priority.
And like, it seems like totally legit up until that very last sentence, which is hilarious.
That remains the priority. Yeah.
Yeah. Or like, I guess the last 2 sentences. Yeah. However, your mom will continue. So it's like,
oh no, from Lethbridge, I would believe just however your mom will continue first. I would still believe that one.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But
so
apparently though, my girlfriend was telling me this, that like 2 of like, I guess maybe 3 or 4 of like the snow plows in Lethbridge were out of commission because
doesn't surprise me.
They got rear-ended on the highway because as they were plowing.
seriously,
And I like to
there
think
is-
that it's because people have never seen the plows, so they're like, they didn't know what was going on and didn't know that they were supposed to stay back, or maybe they thought it was like some weird alien droid and they were trying to play hero and ram their car up at the alien's ass.
I am constantly fascinated by the fact that southern Albertans, we experience snow for 6, sometimes 7 months out of the year, right?
Yeah.
Like the majority of the year typically.
Mm-hmm.
So that leaves 5 to 6 months where we don't have snow on the ground. And yet every time, without fail, people forget how to drive in the winter.
A single snowflake lands on their windshield and instantly they lose like half their IQ points and they just forget
Like it doesn't
how a car
help.
works.
It doesn't help the one of the nicknames that the province of Alberta has gotten, which is the Texas of Canada. Because
Tread lightly. People from Texas might be listening.
no. Because Albertan drivers, as soon as that snowflake hits the ground, it becomes like Texas drivers when snow hits the ground. However, Texas drivers, that makes a bit more sense because they're not used to snow.
Yeah.
Right? Like I think it's like an inch or two causes like a snow day there, and like we've seen it before that like the snow and like just the colder than usual temperatures have like taken out like cities basically in Dallas, right?
Yeah.
And just like caused absolute havoc. Where we are right now in Southern Alberta, we're used to this usually.
Annual occurrence.
Gone. And it's just gone as soon as the snow is as soon as there's no snow on the ground for 5-6 months. It baffles me every year.
Yeah, it's quite impressive actually. But
yeah.
Well, thank you very much, everybody, for tuning into the Quack Report. Whether this was your first episode, you're new this season, you've been listening since the beginning, whatever it is, thank you for another fantastic calendar year, I suppose. As we will have mentioned off the top when we do the post game later tonight, we will be taking our break until January 4th, where we will do a post game and then full episode up January 5th on the Thursday there. We will, however, have that bonus episode a week from today, December 29th. Just a little holiday special for you there. So again, thank you guys very much for tuning in. Nate, if people want to wish you a happy holiday or something, I'll go nicer. Calm down. I'll go nicer to end the season. If people want to just wish you a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, whatever holiday, Happy New Year kind of thing, where can they do that at?
You can do it to me on Twitter at Tatenomas, TATENHOMAS, and I will send you a festive GIF back.
Perfect. And you can follow myself at Carter_Potts, POTTS_97 on Twitter. We are at Quack Report Pod on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch. Thank you guys very much once again for tuning in to another episode of the Quack Report. Oh, and at HockeyPodNet. Have a good one. We'll see you later, and go Ducks go.